What's up, Jimmy? Where we gonna start? What did we pod about today? New pod alert, pod drop today. Let's see here. Gav dropped the episode quickly. About a 2-hour pod today. Of course, we discussed the Drake album in the middle. We actually opened up the pod today with Killer Mike and Cam Newton's part. So we spent probably the first 20 minutes or so discussing Killer Mike and Cam's conversations. Not Killer Mike, my goodness. David Banner and Cam Newton conversation. Partly the ideal of integration and whether or not that was a good idea. We had a brief conversation on that. Then we went into discussing the 300 meters at the North Carolina High School Track and Field Championships and the young man that was being disqualified. And one of the things that we discussed, I gave my position on it, was I believe that, hey, if you was warned, that's on the coach to be like, hey, man, don't do anything, straight and narrow for the rest of the track and field event. But come to find out, coach said, hey, nobody ever warned us, which just means that whoever this person was, it sounds like it was a lady. This lady just had it out for Mallard Creek High School or just this runner in general, right, for whatever reason. Could be the color of his skin, could be his hair, could have been she hate Mallard Creek. Maybe it's a high school rival. Who knows? But for whatever reason, it seemed like she targeted this young man. And one of the things that we didn't discuss that I would like to discuss a little bit further is us not having, when you have to suffer a consequence and there's no recourse, right? Like there's nothing you can do, right? Even if they appeal it, they've already said, North Carolina Board has already said, well, it's not like they can appeal it and they would be able to get that championship back from whatever team they gave it to and give it to Mallard Creek. So there's no recourse. And we discussed that in our community, it would be good if we had think tanks, super PACs, right? Places, where we could hash out ideals to receive better results, right? Because when you are in a situation like this track and field situation and there's no recourse, that means that the only way to win is to not make the mistake. And we opened the pod up with us basically saying that in our community, we have to enjoy winning more than we enjoy celebrating, right? Because this young man lost because they said they deemed his celebration to be taunting, all right? And we know we're looked at differently than everybody else. Black men would never be looked at as being spunky, right? You're never going to be looked at as having grit, right? You're never going to be seen that way. So the focus has to be winning at all costs, right? Forget celebrating. We win, we go to the next win. And it sounds robotic. It doesn't sound fun, right? But if you get to a point where you're just completely dominating, eventually you can have the fun. So that's how we opened up the pod today. We went there. Then we discussed the Drake album, and then we just finished up with some sports. Ended up being a pretty long pod today, as you can see. It's an hour and 57 minutes. Tonight will not be as long. Apologies for coming on late. But I actually have a good little story for you. So if you're listening to this in the Facebook group, Black Dads Club, you actually enjoy this. All right. So I know last week we discussed like dating and how much dating costs and some of the just like the regular difficulties that men run into in dating. Now, I have a clip here from Ebony K. Williams, and I forget who the second clip is, but it ties into the Ebony K. Williams clip. So what I'm not going to do is discuss like, her complaint, right? But I will say this. What I have found is that everybody enjoys a little bit of how many minute mark? A little bit of a ish test, right? Of sorts. So, young lady met. She's out. She's in the DMV market. Really attractive. 29 years old, long black hair. Everything's vibing, right? We vibing. Got a date to meet up. Vibing, right? So here's the thing. She was like, she had a question, right? So the question was conditional, right? Because the outcome is going to be based upon the condition of the question, right? So she's like, I got a question for you. I was like, all right, shoot. She was like, I'm reading it. She was like, who did you vote for in the last few elections, 2016 to 2024, right? So just with this time frame right here, we know what question is being asked, right? No big deal, right? She's in Virginia. I know who she's voting for. I know all the issues that she's dealing with in Virginia. I know what she's asking. All right. But then her second question was, what are your thoughts on the LGBTQ plus community? Right. I didn't answer this question. Even though I knew my answer would be satisfactory, I did not answer this question. Right. I just sent the meme, the LeBron meme, when he gets up and grabs his briefcase and he walks out. I sent that meme or whatever. And her response was, I can't really, give myself to a man whose morals and views clash with my own. And then, the reason why, right? And my response was, I understand and I support your position. Okay? All right? She still gave me an out. She was like, when you're ready to answer, we can talk again. And if I never hear from you again, what a shame. I liked you. And I was like, hey, after my live, I'll call you, pick up the phone, and we could talk. But of course, now she's putting, steps in. Or you can tell me now. And it's like, first off, I'm not answering that doing text. 1. 2, this is one of the biggest problems that I have, right? She and I have been talking, and she doesn't know my sexual orientation. She has an idea, right? Because we assume, we look at people, we prejudge them. There's an assumption to be made. But she doesn't know, right? But she's willing to create a scenario where if I answer wrongly, she gets to say, this doesn't work for me, I'm walking off. Right? Which is why I wanted to have the conversation with her and say, hey, what have I done or said up until this point to make you not like me? Right? And if you decide to judge me because of a view that has not affected how I treat you, who's the actual bigot in this scenario? If you don't like me based upon an answer or an idea. Now, I believe that ideals do need to be aligned, right? But what I don't do is play the game of, if you don't do what I want you to do, you ain't gonna get it. I don't need it. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I don't need it. Like, you offering yourself to me, that's not a reward, right? That's not a good boy. That's not an attaboy. I don't play that game. And I'm pointing this out because I know a lot of times on the pod we discuss what it is like dating in the new world. What is it like being a man in your 40s, foraying back out here into dealing with young women. And I think sometimes we have this idea that, oh, I want to match energy, or oh, I want to, I'm gonna tell her what I think, and it's like, no, I want to have a conversation and just be like, hey, how have I treated you up until this point? Have I made you desire me? Have I made you want me? Because if you don't desire me and you don't want me, there's no need to proceed. But if you desire me and you want me, why are you seeking to sabotage this? Right? Because you're not looking to affirm it. Because if you was looking to affirm it, you would overlook everything. We all look over every red flag possible when it's something that we want to affirm. Right? But when it's something that we're not sure of, that's when we start sabotaging it. And I just wanted to get to the root cause of, hey, I've had great conversations. Why are you seeking to sabotage this now? And for whatever reason, that she can answer that for herself. But I just wanted to point it out that, hey, Pastor Mike Will have to deal with these crazy attitudes as well. But I wanted to go into Ebony K. Williams. And, I'm going to make this short. Since I know this goes in the Facebook group, we don't have to keep this too long. But I want to play this. And I want to point something out here that I wonder if you guys are going to pick up on.
I realized I was like going on dates with men and entertaining men that I don't have genuine, authentic, emotional connection with or even attraction to sometimes.
Now, I want you to hear what she said at the very beginning of this. I am going out with men that I have no connection with and I have no attraction to. Because the biggest thing that we always hear is date women your own age. Women that you date your age are going to be more mature. They're going to be more focused. They're going to say and do the right things, right? Ebony K. Williams, she might be older than me, or she might be near my age, right? She is saying, I am going out on dates with men I have no connection with and I'm not attracted to. This is not a 22-year-old woman having this conversation. So, this is a grown lady. Hey, what's up, Electric? It's a grown lady. They're saying I'm going out on dates with men I have no connection to and I'm not attracted to. Is she going to tell us why? Let's listen.
I am leveraging for an outcome here.
Oh, I'm leveraging for an outcome. All right. That is a very educated way of saying I'm using him or I seek to use him. All right. Again, right? This is one of these conversations. Y'all always dating them young girls. Y'all always dating them young women because y'all can take advantage of them. She date women your age. It's mate garden, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because this is a woman that is our age. This is an age-appropriate woman to date. And she is saying, I am going out with men I have no connection with, I'm not attracted to, and I'm leveraging it for an outcome. Does that sound sexy to you? Does that sound like something that you want to do? You see this beautiful brown sister right here. She got the heels on. She got the pants. She's in shape. Probably weave, I guess. I don't know. I just got back from Colombia. Everything's thrown off when it comes to hair right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you want, right? And what is she saying? I'm looking to use them. But let's keep going.
And women do it every day.
And women do it every day. But now she got to throw it in there. And so do men. Men never said we really don't, we didn't rock with women that sometimes we don't like. We've never said that. Women made it awkward. Women made we could go out with women we would not marry all the time. Like, if y'all listen to the pod, maybe not today, but I say it pretty often that like, yo, I love hanging out with hoes. I love hoes. I ain't got to marry them though. Hoes are fun though. Some of those fun people you ever gonna meet. It's gonna be a lit night. It's gonna be a lit afternoon. Be a lit pool session, right? But yeah, I don't have to marry them. But she has to say, but so do men. Men have never denied that we hang out with women that we know that we're not going to marry. And we're not really leveraging for an outcome. We're just enjoying ourselves.
But men, it didn't feel good enough to me. So that is when I stopped going on the dates, thanked my matchmaker with love, and I went to my fertility doctor. And I told him my dilemma. And he said, well, Ebony, you're uniquely positioned in that you can go about motherhood in a solo capacity in New York City. And I researched and I did my due diligence and I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back to this dating marketplace. But I'm going to come back no longer trying to fill a void of I need to get a man.
And what did she say she's going to do? She's no longer seeking to fill a void. So we know what outcome she was trying to leverage, right? Time was running out, right? She needed to find a father for her child. And because she could not find a father for her child, because she's, in her mind, none of those men are qualified. What Ebony is not realizing is that every man that she dates that's going to be at her level or higher can see straight through her. So it doesn't matter what she says. She can say whatever she wants. Every guy knew she was trying to leverage them for a baby. And every last one of those guys was like, you're not mother of my child material. That's all. Right? Not that you're not a good person, not that you're not a good woman, not that you're not intelligent, not that you're not smart. None of those guys are saying that. What every last one of those guys were saying was, you are not